So let's quickly look at what we are starting with. Like I said, this site is built from scratch. At this point, I've only installed a few plugins. Right now, I've got JetEngine, JetBooking, and JetFormBuilder, which is the free plugin. On top of that, I'm using the JetFormBuilder Pro add-on called User Login Action, because I want to create a simple login page for vendors. WooCommerce is also installed and activated since in this setup our booking items are WooCommerce products. And finally, I've installed Elementor. The free version is totally enough for this tutorial. We could also do this with the WordPress block editor or bricks. Overall, they work great with Crocoblock tools. But with Elementor, I find it really convenient to build the profile area with templates without relying on any extra plugins. Now we need to do a few basic setups so everything is ready for the multi-vendor setup. First, go to JetEngine, Modules, and enable Profile Builder and Dynamic Calendar. These two are essential for the vendor account area, and the calendar view will build later. Make sure you hit Save. Next, open JetBooking Settings. Here the key step is choosing the right booking mode. You'll usually see two options, Plain and WooCommerce-based. For this project, we're going with WooCommerce-based mode. In simple terms, this means bookings are handled through WooCommerce, so your bookable items are treated like products, and we get all the flexibility that comes with that. We'll talk about why this is useful a bit later. If you choose Plain mode, bookings usually work with posts or custom post type. But in this tutorial, we won't build the system around posts. We'll build it around WooCommerce products instead. While we're in WooCommerce, let's open the plugin dashboard. There are three things we need to do here before we move on to continue the setup and to be able to test bookings properly later. First, we need to add a product. This product will be treated as a regular physical product, so we'll use the first default WooCommerce product type. The other options, variable products or grouped products, aren't necessarily here. A simple product works perfectly for bookings integration. This product will basically act as a booking item, just like the ones vendors will later create themselves. We'll also use it as an example when we start building listings. So let's give it a name, add a short description, and set a product image. This is just the standard WooCommerce product editor. In the product data section, switch the type to JetBooking product. Then scroll down to the pricing settings and set a price per night. After that, we can publish the product. The second thing we need to do is set up payments. Without payments, bookings simply won't work. If you go to the WooCommerce payment settings, you can configure full online payment gateways. Here I'll go with the quickest option just to make the testing possible, cash on delivery. In a real project, you'd obviously set up proper online payments, but for now this is more than enough to continue building and testing the booking flow. And finally, let's click Launch Your Store to ensure the website is live. Let's move on and create the users who will act as vendors on our website. From the WordPress dashboard, go to Users and click Add New. I'll enter a name and an email, those are required. And I'll use a very simple password just to make it easy to switch between different profiles while testing. Now with the new JetBooking version, you'll notice a new user role here, JetBooking Vendor. This is the role we assign to users who will be selling and managing booking items on the site. So I'll select that role and save the user. This is a standard user creation screen. After saving, we can still edit things like contact information, billing, and shipping addresses. That contact information can also be edited by the users themselves later. Now, what if we want to add some extra information to vendor profiles, something custom that we might want to display in vendor listings or on their profile pages? This is where JetEngine comes in. Go to JetEngine, Meta Boxes, and create a new one. I'll call it User Meta, choose User as the object type, and make it visible on both Edit User and Profile. That way, the user can also edit these fields on the front end. As an example, I'll add a simple text meta field for a position or occupation, and another one for a user image using a media field. Once that's saved, If we go back to the user we just created, you'll see these new fields at the bottom of the user editing screen. I'll quickly fill in the occupation field and upload an image. And finally, let's add one more user with the JetBooking Vendor role, just so we have more than one vendor to work with as we continue building the site. Now that we have a sample product and a couple of vendor users, let's create the listings that will appear on the homepage. Because our booking items are WooCommerce products, we'll need a query-based listing.